So A, it wants us to find arc DF right here. What is that, a major or a minor? Minor, and how would I name it? DF with what?
40 degrees.
Arc symbol, yep. What do you think relates to their measure? How do you think they relate to each other? The measure of the angle, it's 40. What do you think the measure of the arc is going to be? Is it going to be the same or is it going to be different? It is going to be the same. So if the measure of the angle is 40, the measure of the arc is 40. The reason they're the same is because it's going from the center. Okay, so if you put a protractor in there, it would be 40 degrees all throughout on that diagram. Okay. B, it wants us to have arc. What would I name this? LMN.
Major.
With the arc. Yep, next part, is it major or minor? Why is this one major?
3 points and it's really big.
Because it's 3 points and it's almost all the way around the circle. Okay. How are we going to find the measure of that arc? Let's start with what they give us. They give us 110.
That's for the minor.
Right, that's for its minor arc. That's for its corresponding arc. So this here is 110. How do we find the major arc? Right, we know this whole thing adds up to 360. So you're going to take 360 minus 110.
250.
And that give us 250. Okay, so it's not always going to be the same. You got to be careful whether it asks for a minor or whether it asks for a major. Okay? Questions on identifying and naming. We've been doing that for a while now. Okay, let's look at this picture right here. It wants us to find the measure of arc GEF. What did I tell you to do or advise you to do before you start doing anything? Find it, right? Label, find it. It tells us arc GEF. Well, I want to label that. GEF. Why can I not go this way?
Because it would be wrong and out of order.
Right, it's out of order. Remember when we were talking about triangle congruence things like side, 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 all of those way back when? Okay, remember order matters, so we have to go in that correct order. So, we found our arc. Is that major or minor?
Major.
It's major, so its degree, is it going to be less than or bigger than 180? It's going to be bigger than 180. So, how do we find it if it doesn't?
Add all of them up.
Correct, because this right here is 40, so what's this arc right here?
40.
40. This here is 80, so its arc is 80. This arc is 110. Sorry, that angle is 110, so this arc is 110.
Adds all up to 230.
Right, so add them all up to get that 230 that it shows. Okay, so again, always start your problems by labeling what you have.
So that's your answer?
Yep, 230. So always start with what it gives you and label it. Draw it out. Okay, questions? Okay. I want you to think about these with the person sitting next to you. It wants you to find the measures of the arcs and then see if they are congruent to each other. Again, what does congruent mean?
Same.
The same. Okay, I want you to think about A and B with your partner. Looking at A first, it gives us the angle measure.
45.5.
So if its angle is 45 and it's at the center, what's its arc?
45.
45 for both. So are they congruent?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, if they're the same, that means they are congruent. What about B?
No,
No.
Why do you say no?
because there's two different
Like, how's that take?
Because
The circles aren't-
65
they're not the same
equals the
size.
inner one doesn't mean it's going to equal the outside one.
Right. What does congruent mean?
Same.
The same. Okay. Way back when we talked about congruent shapes, and there was another shape that we talked about. It's either congruent or it's similar. It's either congruent or it's similar. What does similar mean?
It's close, but not right.
What's the same about them?
The shape,
The shape is the same. What's different?
the angle.
Which is the size.
Yeah.
So the shape is the same, but the size is different. So that means they are not congruent. So if we have a small circle and a big circle, would that make their arcs the same size? No. So is this congruent? No. Okay. Questions on those two? All right, let's look at these last two. I want you to work on these with your partner. On each one, these are all arcs. I know it has that on your paper. They're all arcs. So on number 1, you're going to find arc BC and arc EF and then tell if they're congruent or not. And answer 1, it wants us to find BC. BC's angle is 58, so what's its arc? 58. And we want to know if that is congruent to EF. What's EF? 58. So are they congruent? Yes. Okay. BC, what's its angle? We already found it earlier, 58. Now we want to find CD, 72. Is that congruent?
No.
No. Okay. CD
72.
is 72 like we found before. What about DE?
You gotta figure out the math.
Right, we have to figure it out. It doesn't give it to us, but we have all of these other
They
ones.
add up to 288
Okay, so we would add all these up, and then what?
minus.
Yep, so this gives me 288. To find A, I'm going to take 360 minus 288, which gives me
72.
72. So are these two congruent?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Number 4, let me erase some stuff here. Okay, number 4, BFE. What does that add up to?
158.
158. We want to know if that's congruent to CBF.
158.
Can I go this way?
Um,
No, why not?
would mess up the angle.
It's not the right order, right? So I have to go CBF. What does that give me?
158.
158. Therefore,
Yes.
yes. Okay. So, questions about angles and their corresponding arcs.
No.
Where does the angle have to be in order for them to be the same? Where were all of our angles at?
Across from each other.
The angles and the arcs were across from each other, but the angle was in the center of the circle.
Yeah.
So if the angle's in the center, then we can assume that their arcs and angles are the same.
Yeah.
Okay? We'll later on get to if they are not in the center.